Okay, we have done a big part of the work in here. We need to learn in a moment how we can fix the banding problem we made just painting with the brush. And in this case, we also need to take care of this difference in saturation between this and this. We want a better blending this side, something maybe similar to this part, which is more, it's the blending is better. And we also want to maybe consider to make a better fit in the luminosity just behind the head. As we can see, when we turn on the solarized curve, we see a different shade in the blues, and this is telling us we are having some kind of difference in the luminosity or the lightness behind the head. It is subtle, but it's there. It's mostly not visible, but if we push the pixels a lot, maybe using a different kind of visual help, we will be able to see this better. If I go like really dark, something like here, we see a kind of halo around the head. And I know we need to push the image like a lot for being visible, for make this imperfection visible. Maybe here it's more visible, but there is a difference, and we will fix this. We will want um, be able to correct this. So let's try to learn how we can fix it. For the moment, I will group the background. This is the backdrop composite compo. Let's start working in small details. First, I will do maybe a curves adjustment layer. For this, I do have a shortcut. In my case, I set this to Command Alt Shift C for create a new curve. You can use this icon for create a curve, or you can go to here. You already know this, and select the curves adjustment layers. For me, using the keyboard and shortcuts is faster, so I rather to set shortcuts for the tools I use more frequently. Let's see how it looks if I do invert the layer mask and I start painting with a brush in the places I want to make this darker. I don't want to make you lose hours watching me to get a pixel perfect match, but I want to show you different ways to find the solutions to very common problems when we do composites. So let's pretend we are happy with some good result. Do not expect something perfectly matched. Also in here we have a pretty small difference. Okay, let's take a look to a before and after without this curve. As you can see, we made a kind of better match. We will see without all the visual helps if we did anything weird in here. We need to blend a little more at the left, this part. Using these layers for having a good visual of the problem, we increase a lot of the problem. So we will be sure when we have a good result in here without the visual helps will be perfect. However, I will not spend hours or, you understand, a lot of time trying to get this perfect because there is no point. I mean, I just want to show you how the tool works so you can have a better set of tools to work your images. Let's take a look again to a before and after. It looks better. Let me decrease a little more in here the luminosity, and I will want to be sure and this is for sure we need more light instead of decreasing the light because this is telling me I'm going brighter. As you can see, the backdrop is really broken. We will fix this, don't worry. But now we do have a really good match in the luminosity. Now this is for the light. Let's call this light. Now let's see what can we do in here for the saturation. I know I want to decrease the saturation to something around here. For this, I will use just vibrance adjustment layer, and I will adjust to the left the saturation. Let me invert the layer mask. Let me select a big white brush, and let's try to create a good blend. It's also changing the luminosity, so I will set this from normal to saturation because I do not want to modify the luminosity. I only want to modify the saturation of this. I went too far. Let's take a look to a before and after. It is subtle, but it is visible. Okay, better. We could maybe add some color in here. We have a lot of grayish, kind of greeny color cast to this point. For this, I will set this into a color group, and I will want to add a curve. I will add a few points of red plus, I will do it with magenta and yellow. I want to create some yellowish shade. Let me invert this layer mask and paint just a little with coloring here. I want to remove this greeny cast. It's too yellow. I will need to add a little more magenta. For this, I will go to the green, something around here. I will move the RGB channel to increase the luminosity, and this is kind of better. Let me take out a little of red. Perfect. A lot better. And same on in here. Okay, let's take a look to the before and after. Maybe it's too hard. In this case, I will decrease the opacity to 40%. So, okay. This is the color adjustment for the background. This is the light. I don't want to create a group only for one layer, but this is the light for the background. And this should be going inside here because it's all for the backdrop. I want to decrease the luminosity in this part. I think it's just not a good match. I will go to the light. I will create a different curve adjustment layer. I will decrease the luminosity. Maybe something around here. I will invert the layer mask, pressing Command I, and let me paint in here. Okay, better. Let's go far away to take a better look. I take, this is too much. And maybe we need to fix a little more this shadow. In this case, we will need to add light instead of removing. This is remove light. This is for add light. Invert the layer. Again, paint a little more in here. And don't hate me. I know I told you I will not spend hours trying to get this perfect. And I'm here like painting to move one shade of gray, the luminosity, I'm sorry. Okay, let's say we are happy. I want to add a little more color in here. Better. Okay, let's live with this. Let's see if we have, yes, we have a good color match in here. It is subtle, but it's there. Maybe it's a little extra pinky, but just, I wanted to replicate this color cast we have here. I don't know if in the video you will be able to see, but in here in the backdrop, we have some color cast from the skin, and I wanted to kind of replicate this in this part. Okay, in the next video, we will talk how we can remove all this nasty banding in the backdrop.